So the Italian foreign minister, as we were saying moments ago, has put the death toll at about 1,000, only after 8 days of violence with no end in sight. With Gaddafi waging war on his own people, is he fighting his last battle here, do you think?
I think he probably is, but it's a very different situation from most of the other protest movements in the Middle East, in my opinion, because Gaddafi, of course, has been in power for 42 years, and he sees himself as a revolutionary against the West, certainly against the sort of military-industrial complex. So his mindset is perhaps slightly different, and because he's been considered a rogue nation for so long, he feels like he has less accountability, perhaps, towards his Western allies now. So I think he probably will fight on, and he is used to using violence. He has reigned very brutally for the last 42 years, and I don't think he'll give up without a fight. So I'd be very surprised if the death toll remains at 1,000.
Now, regardless of Gaddafi and his own orchestrated attacks on the protesters, there's been violence between the pro- and anti-government demonstrators, neighbour versus neighbour, people dying in the streets, blood on the streets. Tell me, why are the Libyans paying such a high price to have their voices heard?
Well, I think partly because of the repression of the regime over the last 4 decades. They have been brutalised, and they have less communication, perhaps, with the outside world. They're not quite as teched up, perhaps, as some of the other Middle Eastern countries. So even the younger generation are perhaps finding it harder to coordinate what's going on. But it's just the very brutality of the regime that's been in place, and the fact that the West has been cozying up to Gaddafi ever since 2003, when he came in from the cold and became our new ally in the war against terror, means that he's, of course, very tooled up with lots of new weapons, which have been supplied by countries like France and the Netherlands and the UK. So he's in a very strong position, and also a very strong position financially, to fight back.